Welcome to another episode of the 15-Minute a Day Cure. Today's topic, 5 tips that make your anxiety worse. This is actually episode 3 in the anxiety series. I will link episode 1 and 2 in the description below. Hi, I'm Margo Staten of Be Good to Yourself by Margo.com, and welcome to my channel. Here, I teach you simple strategies to improve your quality of life. If you're new here, wonderful to have you. Let's jump into today's lesson. So 5 tips that make your anxiety worse. So anxiety is very, very common. Anxiety happens to all of us. Anxiety, like stress, again, we're impacted on a daily basis. Some anxiety is tolerable, some anxiety isn't. Some anxiety is actually really good. So for example, jumping out of an airplane. Good anxiety, going on a roller coaster. Well, for most of us, not me. Good anxiety. But then there's bad anxiety. There's anxiety, fear for your health, fear that you might get fired. There's something called generalized anxiety disorder, which is non-specific. So you're essentially anxious all the time. Having anxiety affects our ability to function daily and makes things very, very uncomfortable. So here are 5 things that actually make your anxiety worse. Number 1, ignoring your anxiety. Anxiety, like stress, is not just going to magically disappear because you are ignoring it. In order to decrease your anxiety or even eliminate it, there has to be some type of intervention. Intervention, could be things like taking more time to relax. It could be, going to the doctor, going to see a therapist. In very severe cases, maybe you need medication. But it really boils down to what is the root cause of your anxiety. But there needs to be some sort of management. Again, even if you experience social anxiety or you have anxiety over public speaking, that anxiety will continue to be there. It's not going to just magically disappear. So you really shouldn't be ignoring your anxiety, but rather what I recommend is listen to your anxiety. What is your anxiety trying to tell you? What is making you anxious? Once you identify what is making you anxious, you can begin to take steps in order to fix it. Number 2, putting too much pressure on yourself. When we have anxiety, we then begin to worry about the anxiety and what's causing the anxiety. And it's kind of a vicious cycle, because if you worry about your anxiety, you're actually creating more anxiety. And the anxiety gets worse. So especially during times of anxiety, whether it's situational related, whether, there's a genetic component to it, you need to take time to relax. You need to give yourself time to heal. You have to be comfortable, if necessary, to see someone and talk to someone. And one of the worst things that you can do is put too much pressure on yourself to perform. We all have responsibilities in life. Some of us have families, we have children, we have animals that we have to take care of. Maybe we're helping out our parents, there are bills to pay. There are a lot of pressure on us to sort of perform, to make money, and to sort of keep our lives and the lives of our loved ones going. The problem is, if you put too much pressure on yourself, the anxiety actually gets worse. So make sure you're taking care of yourself, and make sure that you're not adding too many things to your already existing to-do list. Number 3, not practicing self-love. I have many videos not practicing self-care. I have many videos on self-care. Again, I'll leave links down below. Caring for yourself is a priority when you have anxiety, and more so for everyone. But especially if you have a mental health condition, or if you have a chronic illness, practicing self-care, having good self-care practices where you're prioritizing yourself, where you have a good time management system, where you're taking breaks, where you're doing things to improve your sleep habits, exercising, eating healthy. Especially with anxiety, self-care is very, very crucial. And for anxiety, there are a lot of sort of homeopathic home remedy things that we can do. And I'll sort of talk about them later on in this video. But in general, you have to practice self-care. Number 4, having unhealthy eating habits. Drinking too much soda, eating too many fried foods, maybe not even eating enough. A lot of people that have very, very demanding lives, demanding jobs, demanding families, and, they oftentimes forget to eat. I am one of those people, and I know that about myself. So what I do is I set alarms that go off throughout the day, as ridiculous as that might sound, to ensure that my eating habits are on schedule. So whether you forget to have breakfast because you're too busy packing up the kids, or, you have a very, very busy morning routine, the point is that, especially with anxiety, you have to have healthy eating habits. You should be drinking enough water. You shouldn't be consuming 10 cups of coffee. Look, I am the first person to say I love coffee. I love, love, love coffee. I've even named my coffee machine. Her name is Mary. So I understand the value of drinking a lot of coffee, especially when we're swamped and we have a lot of things to do throughout the day. That's actually making your anxiety worse. So you have to make sure that you have good eating habits. Number 5, not exercising. Exercising is good for everything. And, for all of you who have watched my previous videos, I don't emphasize exercise, meaning go to the gym 7 days a week. If that's what you do, fantastic. If your schedule allows it, fantastic. Exercise could be light stretches in the morning when you wake up in bed, or before bed, some light yoga. Exercise could be walking to work instead of taking the bus. Exercise could be, instead of taking the elevator, going up and down the stairs. Exercise could be watching YouTube videos, which is what I do throughout the day. I have an alarm for that as well. Doing a little Zumba. Exercise could be doing some Tai Chi, inside the home or outside. Exercise should be an enjoyable experience, and you should be able to find something that you don't hate, because if we hate it, we're not going to stick with it. But not exercising makes your anxiety worse. When we exercise, happy hormones are released, our adrenaline levels go up, and overall we feel better. So those are the 5 tips, and rather 5 things that make anxiety worse. Again, all of these 5 things are easily, if you do them, to be corrected. And again, these specific things, if done properly, won't necessarily cure your anxiety, but at least you won't be making anxiety worse. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed my video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe. And always remember to be good to yourselves.